Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to our guests. I recall sitting in the doctor's lounge maybe a month or three after Obamacare was passed, and there were two conclusions in that lounge. Number one is, oh my gosh, the insurance companies have written this bill. And we said that because there was going to be estimated $50 billion of subsidies going directly to the insurance companies. And today that's grown to $150 billion a year. So American taxpayers are paying insurance companies exactly $150 billion a year. The other conclusion is that this overregulation would lead to consolidation of the industries. I mean, it was very evident the same thing was happening in banking and Dodd-Frank. We knew that we're going to have to take nurses off the floor and bring them into data entry positions as well. We knew the small doctors' offices, small hospitals could never take on all this overregulation. So here we are 15 years later, and we understand that Obamacare has been an abstract failure. You know, I say this because premiums alone, going up 200% in many cases. No one can argue this, that that the ACA has led to premium increase. I draw attention to specifically going from 2020 to 25, how it just takes off, the premiums take off. Well, why? We started adding in these enhanced Biden subsidies as well, and the insurance companies jacked up their premiums to go along with that. And then I think the other thing to point out is that just because you have Obamacare doesn't mean you have access to care. If you're a single person with a deductible of $5,000, if you're a family of four with a deductible of almost $15,000 and you're making less than 400% of poverty level, there's no way that that's access to care. So I came here saying that there's three principles. This is 2016. I ran on fixing health care in the Congress. I said that we need to do two things. Number one is we need to make patients consumers again. Number two is we need to promote transparency, price tags. And if you did those two things, if you made patients consumers again, you presented the consumers with options, then innovation would occur once again. No one can do innovation right now because there's so many guardrails around what you can do or not do. We spent about 4 years promoting that, and now it's kind of catching on. But the other thing I did is I read a book called The Singapore Model in 2020-21, and was intrigued with how they took federal dollars and put them in what I would call an HSA account, an HSA-like account. And even more exciting was if you kept 2 years worth of premium of your deductibles, you could eventually turn that into a retirement plan. So I started trying to share this concept to take in federal dollars and putting them into an HSA-like account as opposed to giving them to insurance companies. That would do two things. It would make the patients, number one, consumers, and then you add up our price tags bill, and all of a sudden you got a win-win opportunity, and the innovation is going to follow. I think what we'll be offering as Republicans are real solutions. We do need to address the fraud, whether it's there or not there. We'll figure it out. But I think that just the simplest thing is, even if a person is paying $5 or $10 as opposed to $0, that's going to cut back on some of the fraud. We've been talking, several people have talked about these HSA accounts going towards the consumers, the same way at the CSRs, of course, is then give those to the consumers as well. I'm really excited about reintroducing some type of reinsurance back at the state level. Senator Collins has legislation in the past, and certainly Maine has had some success. So I think there's successful reinsurance programs out there. And then one of our signature bills is the Patient Deserves Price Tags bill, would also be a part of the package, I think, that would bring down premiums as well. Mr. Blaze, I'll take a deep breath here. I covered a lot of items, but do you believe that if we made the patients consumers again, if we give them price tags, transparency, do you believe that innovation would follow and that premiums could hopefully come down again?
Yes, Senator, I agree. We need to create a health sector that serves the patient and where the patient is in control, rather than a health system that is so insurance company dominated. One of the big problems with the ACA is how much power it gave to health insurance companies. In addition to all those subsidies, it also had put in place a tax penalty for people that didn't buy their product. It was a giant gift to big health insurance companies, and we need to move the power away from giant health insurance companies back to individual patients and families.
Yeah, one other package in our package of bills we would consider, Senator Sheehy has a legislation that would make it easier for small business to get their employees into the ACA and hopefully have a more healthy pool of people in the ACA rather than the opposite of what's occurring as well. And I think that's doing some tax structure as well. I'll just end with this. I hope that my friends across the aisle share the same goals that we do, that we want to make healthcare affordable and meaningful, accessible to everybody. And we have to stop talking just about how do we transfer premiums from the consumer to the federal government. I think a solution where we just shift the cost from the consumer to the federal government is just going to continue to inflate insurance prices as well, insurance premiums. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Lujan.